A very warm good afternoon to one and all, and welcome to the webinar on data analytics and job opportunities conducted by Shandagiri Institute of Management in association with Prajodi Niketan College, Thrissur. About Shandagiri Institute of Management. It is a vision of the CMI fathers of Carmel Province, Muvatupura, to provide development-oriented and value-based higher education. Rooted in the rich cultural heritage of our motherlands, drawing inspiration from Saint Kyriakos Elias Chavra, this educational institution concentrates on the oral formation and progressive growth of the students. Likewise, Prajodi Niketan College is owned and managed by Prajodi Niketan, a registered Christian charitable society, which is an international center for research, training, and service in holistic approach. The college, started in the year 1995, is affiliated to the University of Calicut and is government aided. In this rapidly changing business world, it is crucial to shape and equip ourselves to acquire required competencies to stay ahead. We all know we are in the middle of an extraordinary situation emerging out of the global pandemic COVID-19. With the impact of COVID-19, everything has come to an abrupt halt, and the academic world is not an exception. Because of the forced closure of the educational institutions, the entire education system has been badly disturbed. In this type of situation, e-learning has emerged as a powerful option. As emerging job aspirants, we need to have a close analysis on the changes that is happening in the economy. And for that, we can truly rely on the advices and opinions given by the veterans in the market. And today, we are very proud and privileged to have an eminent personality, Mr. Abdul Karim MA, software engineer, JP Morgan Chase and Company, as our chief guest of the day. We are also excited to listen to his words and views on the topic, data analytics and job opportunities. Let us start the event by invoking the blessings of Almighty. I invite Ms. Arya Krishna for the prayer song.
There shall be showers of blessing. This is the promise of love. There shall be seasons refreshing, sent from the Savior above. Showers of blessing, showers of blessings we need. Sent from the Savior above, and but for the showers we plead. But for the showers we plead.
To welcome the gathering, I invite Dr. Jins George, Assistant Professor, Shandagiri Institute of Management.
Very good afternoon to all. Shandagiri Institute of Management is a B school, as my colleague mentioned, offering a BA program managed by CMI Fathers of Carmel Province, Muvatupura, Kerala. With the rich tradition of CMI educational expertise, we are always forward-thinking, vibrant, and responsive to change. We are really fortunate to associate with one of the prestigious institutions from central part of Kerala, Prajodi Niketan College, Thrissur. Prajodi Niketan, as you know, is an international center for research, training, and services with a holistic approach. Today, the education system as a whole is witnessing a shift to online mode with the advent of the unexpected pandemic COVID-19. Initially, we were all struggling to cope up with the situation actually, but now we have accepted and trying to live with it. Today, we are finding alternative mechanisms to find the COVID by adopting technology in spheres and facets of life. And these efforts are directed towards the same. Today, we have an eminent personality with us, Mr. Abdul Karim MA, who is an expert in data analytics with more than 10 years of experience, exclusively in IT, and currently he is the senior software engineer from JP Morgan Chase and Company. JP Morgan, as you know, is one of the forerunners in the financial service industry. It's a company which is setting up benchmarks in its industry, otherwise vertical. As a senior representative of this fast growing company, he is the right person to speak on this topic and on behalf of everybody gathered here, especially on behalf of Shantigiri Institute of Management and on behalf of Prajoti Niketan College, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Abdul Karim MA to the meeting. Welcome, sir. Dr. Shaijan Paul, Principal, Prajoti Niketan College, a very renowned academician. Sir, I extend you a very sincere welcome to this gathering. Reverend Dr. Bobby Anthony CMI, Principal, Shantigiri Institute of Management, is very dynamic and futuristic in his approach. We remember all the support that he has rendered to conduct this webinar, and I extend you an affable welcome to this gathering. Welcome, Father. I welcome all the head of the departments, especially Commerce Department representatives and faculty fraternity from Prajoti Niketan College and from Shantigiri Institute of Management. Welcome you all. I would like to specially mention Mr. Tony C. Matthew, faculty representative, Commerce Department, Prajoti Niketan College, for his untiring support. Finally, I welcome all the student community and once again a cordial welcome to all of you and wish you a wonderful learning experience. Welcome all. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the most awaited moment of today's session. To introduce the keynote speaker of the day, I invite Ms. Krishna Jeevan.
Mr. Abdul Karim is a programmer and UI designer with a 10 plus years of industry experience, working as a lead software engineer at JP Morgan Chase and Company. When it comes to his educational qualification, he completed his Master of Computer Application from Christ University and Bachelor of Computer Application Development from Mangalore University. He visits colleges and universities out of passion to help the students in connecting with the technology and the bigger world. He has designed his own curriculum covering a spectrum of topics which includes data and business analytics, career and placements, technology and logic development, and design thinking. He is also an active visiting faculty of Christ University, Bangalore, and teaches data and business analytics. He has also conducted several workshops and is also a stand-up comedian. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure I invite Mr. Abdul Karim MA for the session. Welcome, sir, and the platform is all yours.
Thank you so much. Before I start, I just want to make sure that you can hear me. Someone can just give me a thumbs up if you could hear me clearly. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much, Shantigiri Institute of Management and Prajoti Niketan College for having me here. And Jins, Nivedita, and Krishna for your warm welcome. Okay, I know that the time is less, but the topic is a lot. That's the primary constraint for us. But what I'm targeting is that in the short time what we have for an hour or maybe less than that, I would like to give a brief introduction or it's like a start to understand how you can start your caliber, your job portfolio in data analytics or business analytics. All right. So this is what the target goal is. I know that some of you already have these keywords running up and down in your minds, and some of you hearing for the first time. Okay, it's good. This is a session or a very brief introduction to make you understand like where you can start from. Okay, what are the things you need to follow to start your job profile in this data analytics. Okay, as rightly said, I started working in this field a couple of years ago, so I didn't know where to start long back. Okay, so slowly I figured out, okay, this is how you should go about it. And I know that most of the people who are here are from a commerce background, okay? And I would like to speak more regarding from your point of view, where you can pitch in your expertise of your commerce knowledge, your business knowledge, your accountancy knowledge into the analytics platform. All right. So I'm going to start talking about all this throughout a presentation. Okay. Let me share my screen. And I'll be using a couple of demo where and all it's possible to just to give a real life flavor. Okay, I'm not going to explain a lot of theory for sure. I'm just trying to make sure that I'll give a real life samples, a real life scenario of how things are used now. Okay, and if you just think like 1 year back or 2 year backs, you wouldn't have heard these terms a lot: business analytics or business intelligence, data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data. But if you just talk with someone, you will hear these terms now. Okay, so either it creates an impact that is so much is going on with these subjects in the market. The truth is yes. Okay, everyone, okay, every business, small or big, okay, every industry, small or big, it can be from any background and domain, they are actually investing in data analytics. They are investing in taking this analytics into the business, which they call business analytics, to help their market, help their decision making. This is what they're investing in. Now the question is, why they do to invest into these data analytics mechanism? Why they need to do it? Because they wouldn't do it if they don't get any benefit out of it, right? So that's truly in order to keep compete in the market, in order to be active in the market, you need to have these kind of analytics to be used in your business. Otherwise, it will at some point you will not go ahead with your competitors. Okay, I'm going to give all picture of how things works in the market. What is analytics? Why people someone call it as like do analytics? So I just want to make sure that you understand these basics so that you can slowly pitch in from your side. Let me share my screen. All right, so I'm just gonna present here. All right, so I know that this is all about how do you start with data analytics and various job opportunities. Okay, and I'll make sure that we get enough time to ask questions, because most of you have a different question from your perspective. So we'll make sure that we'll cover that as well. Okay. Now the thing is, you see the most important word here that is called data analytics is. Okay. Now if you look clearly, it's two different words, right? Data and analytics. So what does that mean is, in order to start with analytics, you need to know something called as data. It's not just that it's collective thing. There are two things, two aspects to it, right? So there is something called as data and there is something called as analytics. Okay. Now you might have heard, what is data is in a simple common man pictures, right? You might have known it. Okay. Now, how do you understand, suppose that you have a business, how do you understand what are different data elements that you have? That is a big question, right? So I'm going to give some samples, some example to make sure that you guys get some understanding about if you have a small business or a big business, what are the data that revolves around. Now, just keep in mind, these are two things, not one. You have something called as data, you have something called as analytics. We will slowly try to put that together. That's what people call now data analytics is, right? So let me give what people, if you Google search or something, you will must get some definition which is shown here. Okay, data analytics. Okay, you can read it if you can see it. It's basically a science because you might have heard the term data science a lot. Okay, now if you heard the term data science, it's a big umbrella. Everything that comes like data analytics, business analytics, or what's say machine learning, it all comes under this big picture called data science. Okay, now just keep in the word that are kept in bold here. What is it? This is a process of analyzing data into actionable insights to help them in the business decision. Okay, now there are three things: one is data, one is insight, one is business decisions. Okay, now data, I told if you want to apply analytics, you need data. That's the first point. Okay, now you need to figure out, where do I have data in my business? So once you have the data, then you need to use the right analytical mechanism so that you actually export or explore some insight, okay, some meaning out of it. And this meaning, you can use it in your business. This is what data analytics is. Okay, now let me give an example of a company called Kodak. You might have heard the company Kodak, right? This company was like playing very good in the market in 2000, maybe 2095 to 2005. Okay, they were doing great because they were selling cameras, they were selling the reels, everything. But slowly, if you're seeing, this company is not there in the market much now. Why? What happened to them? Just think, like, why they couldn't survive in the market. So they miss something called as market forecasting. They miss something called as market prediction. They miss to understand what customer actually looking for in the future. So that's why other companies like Nikon, Canon, they played a good. They came to know that, okay, this is a market is slowly moving around to digital. Our market is slowly going ahead to making a digital content. So that's where they pitched in, and then what happened? That's where they pitched in, and that moment the entire Kodak is came down and others started going up. So this is what really happened. So how they could have used analytics to do that? They could actually use data analytics mechanism, okay, to predict the market. Okay, so data analytics does prediction, it does broadcasting, it does analysis, it tries to understand where your business stands. All these are called analysis. Okay, and this is not new. Okay, I think this is there from the history. If you look around, whenever you have business, you generate data to it, and people used to basically analyze. Okay, they had business analysis people who do manually do analysis with a pen and paper, and slowly people started using software. That when this analytics software started to come into picture, and now everything is into computers, and that's what they call it as overall data analytics. Okay, it's basically using some very good tools and softwares on your data to generate or explore some insights so that it can help your business. This is the overall picture. Now, you just think, why a company will invest on it? They want to make sure that they can stable in the market. They want to make sure that they understand the business situation, and they want to make sure that they know what's happening around. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. Just listen through the story. Okay. Say, think that you have a milk selling outlet. Okay, you have your own business, a small milk selling outlet, or maybe a small shop you set up in your native next to your home. Okay, and say that you just started last month. Okay, and so last month is like, say that 30 days month. Okay, now 30 days month, you have every day, if you keep track of the amount of liter of milk you intake and amount of it got sold. Okay, basically keeping a data of who bought it, how much they buy, how much margin you made, how much profit you make. That is data for you, right? Now, how you can use this? I say that every day you get someday there'll be more demand, someday there'll be less demand. Okay, and you want to make sure that when there is demand, you have enough milk. Okay, and there is a place you use this analytics. Okay, how do you use it? You have data for 30 days. Okay, you have data of buy and sold, your revenue, your profit of last 30 days, which you kept in a book, for example, or you kept an Excel sheet. Okay, now using that data, I can put some chart around it to start with, to see which and all days my sales are going down, which and all days there is high demand, right? And then you can actually forecast using 30 days data. I'm going to predict what's going to happen for next 5 days, so that I can plan my plan my purchases, right? There'll be several incidents why there is high demand. For example, think there is some festival is coming. Okay, then people tend to buy more milk. Okay, just think of some of the example. Now, using these all data, you can actually predict what's going to happen in next 5 days. So that is what analytics is. Now you can think it can be any business, okay, regardless of what domain is this. If you have a mechanism to use your data, convert it into insights, that is where you start building on data analytics is. Okay. Now I just want to make sure that you understand this picture as well. This picture is nothing but it does show you what are the how do you actually suppose that you start using data analytics. How do you do that? First thing, it shows that you have a problem. Problem is nothing but say that you want to understand your business. Where do you stand today in your market? Or where do you in your milk business you want to see like, okay, what is my situation now? Am I making enough profit or not? You want to know that. So you basically this space you can ignore for now. You can start the third one. It says that you basically collect all the data that is required. Now think of a business, what all data it can generate. It can generate sales data, purchase data, inventory, right? Transactions. What else? It can generate your profit, your revenues, anything you think of. These are data, right? Now using this data, you have to pre-process. It says why pre-process? You basically take only data that is required for your output. You don't take all the data. Okay. For example, suppose if you want to test the quality of a pickle, you don't taste the entire pickle. You just take a sample of it and taste it, right? So same mechanism. If you want to just use the right data for analytics, that is most important. And once you get the right data, you just basically, this is the step where you apply analytics. Now, this is a big term. What is analytics? What people actually apply here? Okay. Now, people who study statistics, okay, the analytics, the base is going to be statistics. If you study statistics, you might have studied something called as basic statistical measures as measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, descriptive statistics, all these, right? These are basically that, starting from there. Then people slowly go to a bit higher versions of that thing, that regression, prediction, forecasting. So you need to know this technology in order to apply to it. But if you have a background from statistics and if you have a domain knowledge of your management, it needs both. That's where you can start your focus on understanding the data and understand the techniques, so that you can also start using the analytics in a right way for the business. So once you have that, what you need to do is you need to visualize it. This is the most important and beauty of data analytics. Okay. Now people call this term more as like all these, maybe they call it as business intelligence. They might call it as business analytics as well. Now, what is visualization? Let me show an example, okay? I'm going to stop my screen for a second to share something else. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, I hope you see my Excel sheet. Okay, now the best part is to start analytics. You need to. It's easy way to start. The easiest way to start with is learning Excel. Okay, why? Because in order to understand data, you need to have some software. Okay, Excel is a very basic software which can store data. It can store any kind of data. So if you know Excel, you need to build on Excel to learn more. And then you can go ahead and learn something called as how actually people store data in organization. You might have known as like relational databases, all these terms, right? So you can learn some very good tool to do that. But to start with, you can start with Excel. Excel is very good enough to manage a medium-term business. Okay, so that's why people, when you go for job, people look for Excel skill of yours. Okay, you might have basic skill. You need to have a bit more advanced skills of understanding charts, understanding pure tables, and all. Okay, now I'm going to show an example of how you can picturize the data is. Okay, now I'm going to put here months. Okay, this is month. Basically I'm telling my milk outfit, so that I have a business of milk. I'm putting the revenue for 2 years. Okay, 2 different years. So I'll put from Jan. Okay, and I'll say Feb, and I will say March. Okay, now this year is 2019, and this 2020. Okay, so this is basically my fields. Okay, if this is my head columns and this is the rows. And if you read it, how do you read? 2019 Jan is this. 2000, you know how to read the metrics, right? 2019 Jan is this field. 2020 Jan is this field. So I'm going to put in 2019 Jan. I had 1,900 as my overall revenue. Here it was 1,200. In Feb, okay, let me put a bit more to 100. In Feb, I had 3,6, and here I had 2,300. Okay, I'm putting some random numbers, and here I had 4,500 as my revenue, all in rupees. Okay, now in March, I had 1,600. Okay, now this can go up to all the months. Okay, now if I give this data to someone, since the data is less, they can easily read it. But what if I put this in a beautiful chart? Okay, because visualization is more important, because if you start showing your data in a visualized fashion using charts, then people like it. That is where you actually start using the analytical features. Okay, so I'm going to use say in Excel. Okay, I'm going to insert a chart to it. So you just say insert, and then you say you can just use recommended charts, and Excel will tell that, you know what, you can use any of this. So I will just say that I will use one of these charts. There's so many charts, right? Okay, this chart. Now I'll say okay. Now, the moment you said, okay, you get the data here, it says that in month, and actual figures are representation. Now, see the difference. When you give it like this, or when you give like this gives a visualized impact of, okay, there is something going in 2000, that is 20. Okay, why the sale is going down? You see, every 2019 it was high, but here compared to it's less. Okay, now I can make it look better if I apply, instead of a bar chart, can I try a pie chart, line chart? I can do that. Let me do it again. Insert, I'll say instead of recommended, I will say insert me line chart. Okay, now this is much more, right? Now it says that both start and Jan. Okay, now look at here, Jan, and this is Feb, and this is March. Okay, now 2019 it was a very good revenue time, but 2020 I got very less. Okay, now when you start picturizing it, people really understand what's happening. Okay, now using this visualization, you can take immediate measures to take care what's happening in your business, why I'm going on so much of losses. Okay, so that is why it is important you to understand data first and understand the very good way of representing it. I'm going to stop this screen. I'll go back to my original screen. Yeah, so if you see that, that is what visualization comes from. Whatever you do with data, whatever insights you figure out, you're going to apply and put it in a very good dashboard. So what I showed is a very primitive dashboard or a chart using Excel, but people use very good tools. Like you might have heard something called Tableau. Okay, if you heard, you can just Google it. There is a tool called ClickView. You might have heard something called as Power BI. These are the tools that is available in the market, which can actually do a bit of data analytics and visualize it. All right. So if you want to actually go further in your career to start with data analytics, you start with Excel and slowly go about learning or do some online course about Tableau. Just can write down if you want to remind these terms, right? You can just Tableau, there's ClickView. Okay, ClickView. Okay, I can just show it later at the end what are these tools are. Now let me show you one more thing. This is also I felt important you to know. Okay, this bit theory, but I'll do it quickly. Okay, based on the nature of your analytics, it is categorized into 4 different types. Okay, this like if you are looking for old data, history of data. In our case, milk, I use last 30 days data. So what I'm trying to do, I am actually trying to do what happened in my business last 30 days, what happened. That is descriptive analytics. Okay, and these are, I told, right, this is basically by applying some of the basic statistical measures, like measures of tendency, that is mean, median, mode, measures of dispersion. You can use standard deviation. You can use what is the range, you can use IQR, all these things, right? And then if you use, now you understood, okay, there's something happened. Now you want to figure out Why did it happen? What went wrong? Okay, now in 2020, most of the business you take by revenue, the revenue will be down. Why? Because of Corona, because of people are not going out, people are not buying much, right? So you can actually figure out why did this happen. Okay, now the beauty is this one, third pillar, right? Predictive analytics. This is what most important is. Okay, now just I know what happened and why it happened. That is not enough. I should make sure that what I'm trying, I should make sure, or I should able to predict that what's gonna happen in my future. That is what Kodak failed to do it, right? So if you just think of any business, they do this. They'll actually predict the market. Okay, I think stock market. People predict the market. You just take any sample sale, they predict the market so that they can plan their raw material purchase to all the things that you studied in your commerce. Think of HR, they can also do it, right? They can plan the resources, who will go when, what is my demand, they can plan this. So this is the most important terms in analytics, that is called predictive analytics is. Okay, now if you want to learn analytics, you should start with descriptive. That is what where you will apply basic statistics are, but slowly you start learning more and more. So okay, each pillar got a set of analytical so if it's descriptive, I told statistical. When it comes to predictive, you will learn regression, you will learn something called as clustering, you will learn classification. Then when you go to prescriptive, it's next level of it. It like, okay, when something gonna happen in the future, how do we tackle this? Okay, so these are the four different pillars. Okay, now collectively using machine learning, robotics, all these are data science. So now when you say okay, when you say data analytics, it includes most of it, because people trying to be more smarter. Okay, now for example, Alexa and all, you say hi Alexa, it reply to you, it will help you. These are some of the example for very futuristic way of doing things. Okay, now if you ask me, is data analytics is only for business? No, it's just for anything. Where and all there is data, it is there. Okay, for example, how many of you use Instagram or Facebook? Okay, the answer will be yes, right? Most of you, some of you might not be using Facebook, but you will be using Instagram. Some of you will be using YouTube. Some of you will be using Snapchat, WeChat, Viber, VTalk, what else? Some of you will be using all this application, right? These are data for you. This is yours data, and this data can be used for marketing purposes. For example, you went to Flipkart, search for iPod, and next day you come to Facebook, you will see similar ads in Facebook. How they do it? That is marketing analytics. They use your customer taste, they use your search history, they use your browser history in a right way, so that they can generate some marketing ads for you. Okay, they're not gonna this is legal when you, because these sites maintain the mechanism saying that whenever you browse someone, they share this data, they use it for a good way, they won't use it for a bad way, but these data are used. That's why we get Facebook for free. That's why we get Instagram for free. Is don't think we don't pay for it. Our data pays for it. Okay. How many of you get calls saying that, hey, you want a loan today, or you want a credit card today? Are they simply calling? No, they do a very proper predictive analytics. Okay. They will target customers who are capable of buying a car, who is capable of buying a loan. Okay. They will think, okay, this guy is married. Okay. Now he has kids. Okay, now he might be needing more money because kids education, they will call him. Okay, if you're single, you are a student, you might not be getting these calls because you're still not finished your studies. So people, as you grow, as you interact more with your mobile and computers, these data are used for marketing and all other purposes. Okay, and this is based on the nature of data. The name of the analytics will be changing. If they use social media data, they call it as social media analytics. If they use proper business data, they just call it business analytics or data analytics. And you might have heard the term big data, right? It's just that the size of the data matters. Okay, not this size. It's like big data. You might have heard the term big data. Big data. People are telling big data, right? Now, if you look up, you measure the size of data by KB, MB, GB, TB, right? Big data are more than that. It's like petabyte, hexabyte, octabyte, right? Zettabyte, it is in that size. It's not just a size, it is the speed of it is getting generated. Okay, I'll show you some example of that, how much data is getting generated. Okay, so this is the overall picture of what analytics are. And now I will speak a bit more about what is data, what is data, right? So I'm just going to put this into one storytelling mechanism. Let's see how it works. So a data, it can be a simplest form of one row, one record. Okay, it can be even simplest from that. Let me show you some example of what is data. How do you understand data? The basic elements of starting with data analytics is to understand the data. Okay, that is you where that's where you start. Then only you learn Excel. Then only you can start planning your career. Okay, now I put something here. Okay, it's all about data. I put something here: 120, 120, and 12. Right? I'll just zoom in. So this is what 120, 120, 12. Okay, this is a data. Okay, by looking, it can be a data, but a data without a context to it is not. It is not really worth it. So I'm trying to put a context to it. Okay, so I put a context here saying that it's a date of birth. Now, what is date of birth? Now I can read this as 12/01/2012. It's a date of birth. Now see, when I put a context to that particular value, it becomes a data that is worth. Okay, now is it really worth? I just know the date of birth. I don't know whose date of birth is, right? Now you might have heard this particular chain of data to information, information to knowledge, knowledge to wisdom. Okay, data, this can be a data. Okay, date of birth. So what is information? Knowing whose date of birth is. For example, this is a date of birth is of a person called Asha. Okay, that is information. Now what is knowledge? By using this date of birth, I can say that okay, this particular person is 8 years old. 2012 is a birth date, right? This particular person may be studying in third standard. Okay, so I'm getting more knowledge about the person. So what is wisdom? Wisdom is a bit more than that. I can answer a lot of questions about that person. I can even target what that particular person want. Based on this, I can even, if I am running say that a store, okay, so that I'm running a kid store. Okay, if people coming from this age, I can try to take them into all the kids section. So that is what the wisdom is. That is what the level of you go, how to use the data. Now, by just giving one piece of information, that date of birth, if you can plan, if you can impact your business. Now, imagine having a lot of worthly data of so many people or so much of entities. It is a great deal. Okay, so that's why people invest in data analytics. Okay, it's not like every business will do data analytics. They do it. I'm telling you, it incurs a cost to it, right? Data analytics is not cheap. You need to invest a lot of money to it, because the people who do data analytics or business analytics, they get paid well, because that's a very unique feature of expertise and skills they have it, right? So that's where you can pitch in, right? Market demands a lot of people who are with these unique skills. Okay, now there are two aspects to it. If you are a person from a computer background, you can focus on building these analytical models. Okay, so because you need to learn some programming and all. Now, most of you are from commerce background, so you might not have that expertise in building analytics model, but you can be the business analyst guy who are actually looking into this visualization chart. So, and taking output information from it and use it for the managemental decisions. So you can be that guy. So you will become a business analyst. People who are good, very good with computers and data, they'll become data analysts. So there are two different fields to it based on your expertise skill. Okay, based on your domain knowledge. So now say that you have so much of data. Okay, it just not that having data. It's also about organizing the data well. Organizing means you basically store the data. Okay, and this might not be the skill or expertise of a person from commerce background. But what I'm telling is that you keep in mind, having a data is not enough. You need to make sure that data should be stored, managed very well. Okay, this I'll have an example for you. Now think that you are going to a library to pick a book. Okay, now say that you went to this library first. Okay, I'm not sure if the image is very clear, but think that you went to this library to take income tax book. How much time will take? You will take a lot of time here because the data or the books are, I think data has books. The books are not organized here. So here you will find more time, you will spend more time to search for that book. Now think that the books are very well managed, they arranged very well based on labels. Say that you went to this library, okay, here it'll be easier for you to take the books. Why? Because your books are arranged well. That the same concept, if your data is arranged well, you can just pick the data that what you want in easily. But if the data is not organized well, then you will end up spending a lot of money on it to make it arranged first. Okay, that is one of the challenges of people who deal with data analytics. How do I make my data very organized? So that's what people spend a lot of money on big data and management of big data. So having big data, to manage it, you need to spend some money on it. Okay, so this is what I'm telling. Having data is not enough. You need to make sure that you invest money on it to organize it. Okay, let me give some more input on data also. I was speaking about social media analytics. Now, if you just look into this particular pictures, right, it will show you how much of data getting generated in social media. Okay, if you look at the left picture, it shows about 2019. If you look at the right picture, it shows about 2020. And these are the data that is getting generated in a minute, not a day, not a quarter, not an hour. It's in a minute. I'll just zoom in if you'd like to. Okay, so that 2019 Facebook generated 1 million logins. Now here you say Facebook generated 1.3 million logins. So similarly, you can look for almost, I just put up almost every social media platform that is very famous. I think people who are very good data social media, you might be knowing all this, right? Twitch is a gaming platform, Tinder is a dating site, Jiffy, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Amazon, everything, right? So this much data is getting generated every second. Imagine if you use this data rightly, what will happen? It'll generate a lot of marketing strategies. That's why you're getting ads. Okay. So in 2005 or something, what happened is this happened in US. Okay, two people, they're friends, they were roommates, and they were talking about buying a cat. Okay, they didn't post in Instagram, they didn't post in Facebook, nowhere. Okay, they were just talking to each other. And 2 days apart, when the person was scrolling up in one of the social media, is mostly to Facebook, he got an ad, okay, about cat food. Okay, now they didn't buy cat. They are discussing about buying cat. But the person got an ad regarding the cat food. How they got it? Okay, because there are people looking into your conversation even. Okay, so sounds a bit crazy. But this is happening now. One more thing, how many of you use Android phone? Most of you might be using an Android phone, and when you log in with Android, it must be asked for some legal terms, and you just read without reading, you just say accept, right? And one of the lines says that it can actually store your location information. So you just go log in and just search for Google timeline. It will show all the places that you have visited. Okay, I could show, but with regard to time, I'm not doing it. You can just search for Google timeline, and once you log in, it will show you all the places that you have been with your mobile in past 1 or 2 years since when you're using mobile. Why they store it? So that I went to Bangalore, and the moment I reach, they will start pushing ads of hotels in Bangalore, attractive place in Bangalore. This is what strategic marketing, and this is data analytics, right? So they're using the data for a purpose so that they can also get benefited, that they can also use for their end of the day. End of the day, every business would like to make profit. So they'll make sure that they're invested in data analytics. That's why there is a very good demand in the market now. It started like maybe 10 years back, the entire data analytics package became very popular, and now you hear a lot about it, but nobody is giving an exact way to where to go ahead with, right? They're telling big data, they're telling data analytics, they're telling business analytics, but nobody knowing much clue about, unless you really go and work there, you won't know, right? So that's I'm telling that this is a place, if you actually invest your time, right, into understanding these some of these softwares. Like I told, start with Excel, then plan for, if I think if you are from undergraduate, plan for doing an MBA with the business analytics course along with that, or you can do a certification. Okay, so you can do a self study. There are a lot of videos out there. So you just plan how do you want to enter this field. The moment you have these terms in your resume, that I did a 6-month internship on data analytics, I did a specification course on data analytics, your chance of getting into a data analytics job will be more and better than others. So you should start thinking on this line. Um, Okay, let me show you. I mentioned a tool. You remember I mentioned a tool called Tableau. I can just show that how well a dashboard look like. Okay, I'm going to stop the screen for a second. Let me share it again. And here, okay, I am sure this will be a very new to you. Maybe behind your one second, I was just getting shared. Yeah, this tool is very popular in industry. If you just ask for anyone who are from the company, they will tell you, you can just ask them, do you use Tableau or not? They will tell you, hey, Tableau, how you came to know about it? So you can just Google about it. This is not a freeware anyway, but you can learn about it. They give free license. Okay, do you see this is basically some profitability data of some company. Okay, this dummy data, not real data. Here, if you read, it says that monthly sales of some product based on all the region. It actually shows. I think I showed you in Excel right now. Here, it look more nicer. And if you see, I can change the chart, whatever I can just do with a different chart culture, make it line, make it in just a matter of click, right? So that's I'm telling. If you have time, if you have interest to it, once you're very good with Excel sheet, try focusing on understanding a tool called Tableau. Now I think in the market there are so many courses coming with that. Just think if you can do when you do a PG, think of a course which has business analytics in it, right? So you take an MBA with business analytics, or take something like MS data science, whatever it is, but make sure that if you are interested, you learn something very related to it. So this tool is, if you Google Tableau, you will get it. If not, if you're a beginner, you will take some time to understand. So don't directly jump to learn this tool. Start with the Excel. Make sure that you know the basics and advanced Excel skills, and then only jump here. Okay, don't skip. Then otherwise it will be tougher for you. Okay, so just keep in mind there's a tool. I'm not going to show you a lot here because it's 1 hour session. I won't be able to show anything of it. So I'm just saying there's a tool exists like this. So I'm going to stop sharing and let me put my original screen back. I am keeping an eye on time. I know it's 3:47. I'll just wrap it in 3 minutes so that we have good amount of time left for the questionnaire. I know that most of you have triggered some question, which is I have not covered as well. So it'll be good if you ask more questions. I can answer very relatively. I just want to make sure that I show you one more thing, where and all analytics they use it. If you use okay, let me stop sharing so that I can show my mobile. Okay, if you use Instagram, right? If you use Instagram, you just go to your profile and just click on these 3 dots. Okay, if you see my screen, there's 3 dots, and then you say your activity. The moment you click on your activity, you will get something like this charts, right? No, I think it's a lot of light there, but if you can try in your mobile, it will show you the amount of time you spend every day on it. Okay, why they're showing? It will based on that. Okay, they will know you are a person who spend a lot of time on Instagram, so that most of your likes and unlikes are in Instagram. I can every moment you scroll down, you're getting a lot of pictures, a lot of sales ads, everything. So this is everywhere. I'm just want to show that even though you didn't know that analytics, your data is getting used. Your business data can be used. That's what you need to think about it. One last thing before we go to questions. Yeah. Okay. Just some of the very what say accepted fact that data look very good when you present. That's what I've said. So how do you start the career? Understand data, then learn about statistics a bit, then learn descriptive. I told you 4 different pillars: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Understand different mechanisms on that. Then start learning Excel, Tableau, everything. And there are different tools. Like you might hear, there's a tool called R. You can learn about it if you really want to go into data analytics. There's a tool called SPSS. I think I had the Shantagiri as an MBA program, and they use SPSS for teaching data analytics. Okay, so it's up your choice which tool you want to use, right? So there's R, there is SPSS, there is Python. This is programming, so it'll be a very advanced level, but you can start with Excel, go to Tableau, then come to SPSS, learn bit of R, get expertise in any one, add on your resume. That's your starting point. So it says that if you have data present in charts, it is better. Now I'm giving an example to make it how it look like. Okay, so this is a simple sentence. If you can read it, just read it. About 58% of the top brands in the world have over, it's just some data. Okay? It's saying that 50% of the top brands are having this many followers in Twitter. Now, how do I make it more, graphical? So I am going to put, highlight the data points. Okay, now what happened? It came into bold so that when I look into it, okay, it looked nice. Okay, 58. Now I know where to look for. Okay, now I'm going to make it more interesting. Okay, so I put a picture of Twitter as well now, and I made this one also bold. So this is how you start beautifying data. It's about you start about stress point. Okay, now the moment you start focusing on visualizing your data, that is important for your business to understand what's happening, right? So that's why it's important to understand data as well. And this is couple, and you just read this. This will actually give a picture of why we need to do it. People, it takes 6 seconds to read something to 20 to 25 words, but it only takes 1/4 of time to see a picture and do it. That's why the entire, when I show you the process, it start with the problem to collection of data to applying analytics to visualization. Is everything is important. So visualization, that's why people do visualization, right? When I showed you chart in Excel, that is visualization. There's an actual difference of showing a table data and the pictures. Picture will get a very good insights to it. Okay, you can just Google in YouTube. You can just YouTube for Uber Analytics. They have a case study. You can just go through the case study so that you'll get some more insight about how it is used in real cases. I put one new thing here. Let me show you that as well. If you open any new newspaper, you might have seen now there also you will see a lot of analytics used. There are other charts are coming. If you open business page, a lot of charts are coming, and this is not started today. Some of these are, I put a paper from 2012. You see they use chart in that time. So this field is not new. This field is very advanced. That's why if you want to start this right time, but you need to make sure that you're competitive enough to stay in this field. All right. So it is through. I'll just stop sharing here, right here, and we can open for question.
For the kind attention of the participants, the feedback link will be shared in the chat box. E-certificates will be provided to only those who fill the form. Now, the platform is open for question and answer session. Participants can use the hand raise option so that you will be unmuted, or can post the questions in the chat box.
Okay, there is one question here for me. What is it? Domain knowledge is important. Important to start with. Okay, first of all, very good question. Okay, the person who asked. For others, I'm just telling you what is domain. Domain is a field of your study. Okay, if say hospitality or finance or education, that is a domain. Okay, if you are good with domain knowledge, then half of your effort is done. Okay, now you just need to understand what the real problem exists over there. Then start using the data available there. Because if you know the domain, you will know what all data will be available there. So it will make your process easier. So domain knowledge having is very important. So it doesn't matter what field you are in. Okay, even though I'm into programming, having the domain knowledge of finance is good for me because I can solve the real world problems. So very good question, and the answer is yes. If you have more question towards Nivedita or someone, you can read it, or you can just post the question in the chat box if you don't like to ask it directly. Okay, one more here. 1 second, let me read it. It's just asking like, how do I go about after my UG? My UG. Okay. This person is asking like, how do I uh, like what should I do after UG to get into this platform? So I told you, if you have a statistical background, it's a plus, but don't worry if you don't have it, spend some time to understand the basic statistics, so that statistics is all on data. So you will get to know how do you find average, how do you find standard deviation, all these things. And then you slowly start learning data analytics. Okay, maybe you do a free course or you join a post graduation with data analytics. So that's where you really start with, and then half of your work, it'll help you a lot. Okay, and now just I think if you have a LinkedIn or something, make a profile. Connect with people who are into the field of data analytics, so that when you are ready, you can just ping them, you can follow them, and even in Instagram there are groups called data analytics, business analytics. This is for all. Okay, just make sure that you have a good LinkedIn account created, so that you follow your interest there. It's not necessary to be data analytics, it can be anything, but you make sure that you follow it right from your beginning, so that by 2 to 3 years you can have very good portfolio in LinkedIn built, you have very good connection with people are built. So that is important. Okay, I have a question from Jerry. Okay, I didn't read the other names. Anyway, I have a question from Jerry Joni. Is there any specific course that you recommend for financial analytics? Very good question. Like analytics can be applied anywhere. Okay, so if your core is finance, you go for financial analytics. If your core is HR, you can focus on analytics. But the study methodology will be same. It just the difference is the data is different. Now the course is now, Jerry, if you're doing your UG, is good that you go for the PG. Okay, so you take an MBA finance plus data analytics, so that you will get more domain knowledge on finance plus the data analytics background. But if you're looking for some short-term courses, you can just YouTube a lot. There are Coursera which offers the courses. If you like just looking for 2 week, 3 week courses, you can do that. But I told you do a self study on Excel. Just write on you. There's something called pure table that you start with. Then slowly go on SPSS. Learn about regression. Learn about clustering. This is a package which they people offer you. And if you look for an outside certification, right? I feel they will charge a lot of money because it is in demand. So you just make your mind that what you want to do it. You want to do it with the parallel PG, or you want to directly do it after UG. You should make that mind. Just Google about it. You will find a lot of course. Just make sure that you're just getting from the right place. Okay, some very established places. Okay, but more than that, you can do a self learning and do some basic projects on it, show your visualizations and print it and put it in LinkedIn and see what people are telling about your pictures, your analysis. That's where you start with if you're really interested to start one with financial analytics. So then you will come to know how trades, stock market is getting predicted, how people know where to invest in mutual funds. These information you will be able to analyze a lot with these tools. Any more question? We have 2 minutes. If you have something, ask me. Otherwise, I'll hand over it to Nivedita. One more question. Is analytics can be applied into sports? The answer is okay, if you're a person watching football or cricket, how many of you, if you follow, there's something like football heat map, or after a player is playing, they show you how much he ran, how much average, what is his shots. This is data. In cricket, you've seen like in third umpire, they'll predict where the ball is going. They are not predicting based on the previous deliveries. I told you, right? Using historic data, they're predicting where the new ball will go. Analytics, okay, it is there everywhere. You can name any field or any domain, any area, no matter how big or small. Analytics is used there. They invested there. So do not worry to step into this field because this is new, but it's very advanced. So it's a good chance for you. All right. So Nivedita, you can.
Sir, I think there's one more question.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I'm Jacqueline, second BCom student, Prajoti, Niketan College.
Yeah, your question.
I want to know that how much time will it take to get a job in this field?
Okay, so you're asking how much time will take time to take job in this field, is it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it is same as any other field. Okay, the moment you think you are ready, start applying for it. How do I apply? You start, maybe if you're planning to get a job in 2 years, you start getting your profile ready now. Okay, don't think that suddenly one day you'll get a job. You start preparing for that now. How do you do that? Make a LinkedIn account. Make sure that you prepare for the interviews in data analytics. How do you do that? You know a bit of Excel, bit of data, bit of things that is happening around the world with analytics. So you prepare yourself. Okay. The moment you start preparing yourself, you will be confident to attend the interview of data analytics. Okay. And the moment they feel you are good as a starter, they will train you. Don't worry about you need to be an expert in this field. The moment they think you are a good fit because you have the base of starting analytics, they will pick you and they'll train you. So the timeline is same as any other job. Only thing is that since this field needs a lot of passion, a lot of dedication, you need to start right away. You don't wait to tomorrow. Start from today. Google about it. There's a application called Quora. Okay, even if you're not getting time to ask here, ask the same question in Quora. Quora will give you answer because people who are good with data analytics will answer that. So that's also one good platform. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Nivedita, you can have it back.
So with this, I think we have come to an end of the question and answer session. Thank you so much for your valuable session, sir. Now it's time to wind up today's event, and so I invite Mr. Jerry Joni, faculty member, Department of Commerce, Prajoti Niketan College, for the word of thanks.
Very good evening, everybody. I know this particular time we've been received with, otherwise we've been hit with a lot of information, and all of these informations will be useful for the future of all the participants over here. Now, the responsibility entrusted to me is to thank the people who made today's event a success. And no program is complete without the thanks also. So first of all, I would like to thank Lord Almighty, without whom none of these would have been possible. Today's event, its success and its grace all belongs to the Lord Almighty. Next, I would like to thank Mr. Abdul Karim from JP Morgan and Chase & Co. for sharing his years of experience with our dear students towards enhancing their skills and their abilities and clearing their doubts with regard to data analytics. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank our dearest principal, Dr. Shaijan Paul, Principal Prajoti Niketan College, who has been a source of constant support for us in every endeavor we take. Now, I thank the management and faculty of Shantigiri Institute of Management, especially our dear Jens George sir, for their valuable partnership for this event. Next, I would like to thank my colleagues and our coordinator, Mrs. Zida Johnny, for all their efforts to make this event a success. And last but not the least, I thank the students and the participants without whom this program would not have taken place. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. We would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Prajyoti Niketan College, principal, HODs, faculty members, and students on behalf of the entire Shantigiri family for your support. Thank you. The meeting is dispersed. You all may leave. Thank you and have a great evening.